Come on!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the world, I am George Massey, glad, proud, privileged to be standing here in front of this wall of Hollywood, this cornucopia of cinema, glad to be speaking over the digital Ethernet internet stream to you, lovely you. You're looking very good, it's nice to see you again. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Promise. Now I saw The Promise yesterday. It is not doing very well at the box office. It is making a pittance, it is making pennies, and first of all I will say it is a good film. It does not deserve to be doing this badly. What is good about the film is that it feels like kind of the old-fashioned, grandiose, large-scale epics. A little bit like Ben-Hur almost, that kind of scale. Films made of a time when they were not reliant upon things like CGI. That's not the tone of this film. This film is much more grounded in reality. And one thing that's really good about it is it does feel like an adventure. It begins, you don't know where it's going, it begins with one plot, it leads into another plot, and it takes you along and it unfolds like most good stories do. The casting is good, the cinematography is for the most part very good. The only downfall I would say is there's kind of a love story triangle kind of a thing, which is in some ways very good, very intriguing, very interesting in a sort of a soap opera fashion, but it kind of appeals to you on the most simplistic, primitive, atavistic almost level, the same way that Hollywood tends to appeal to people by being bright and flashy instead of appealing to people's intellect. This is a little bit lascivious, let's say, because it's very easy to entice an audience by saying, oh, we're going to have a relationship, a love story, this person's going to cheat on this person, etc. And even though it's good and it's kind of interesting, it's also the most flawed aspect of the film, because essentially there's this French girl who's very stereotypically French, let's say, very feminine, very sweet, very lovely, and yet she kind of falls for the guy who, you know, sort of plays the new version of Han Solo in Star Wars. Oscar Isaac is his name. So the French girl is married to Christian Bale, and yet she falls for Oscar Isaac's character. And the problem with this is that Oscar Isaac, the character, doesn't do anything to really make her fall in love with him. In fact, she leads everything. She kind of introduces herself to him, she's asking him out on dates, she kind of leads the whole thing, and he's just kind of trundling along following, and it's not really convincing. You think, really, her married to this famous American reporter who's very successful and who the whole world almost is paying attention to because he's revealing secrets regarding a war, a secret war between Armenia and Turkey, right? The point is Christian Bale's character is a very important character, and if she's married to him, surely she's not going to take such a significant risk for a man who really makes no effort to win her over. If Oscar Isaac's character had been a bit more masculine, a bit more leading, a bit more courageous, then it would have been more believable. You would have felt more passion and emotion and connection for those characters. That being said, the film is still good. It's well crafted, it's well paced, and it does feel incredibly big. The scale of the film is so very large that I was sitting there thinking, I'm really glad I saw this in the cinema. It's a large, gargantuan kind of a story, and to its credit, it's a true story based upon a war, a massacre even, a genocide that took place just before the First World War. And it was educational to me. I didn't know anything about this part of history, certainly a sad part of history, but it conveyed the story in a way that was both entertaining and informative, and I think that it is appealing in a very large way to a very large audience. It is not the kind of historical film which is like, oh, this movie's just made for educated people, historians, people who like to sit at home and watch the History Channel. No, it's not made for, you know, this singular demographic. it is the kind of movie that people who are interested in the history will like, and people who just like to sit there and enjoy an entertaining popcorn movie will like as well. And in that regard, it should be a much bigger success than it is. I highly recommend seeing it in the cinema. It demands your attention in order to really feel immersed by it, and the cinema is the place to be immersed by it. There is one additional thing that I'll just add, which is that there's a big theory, something of a conspiracy theory going about that there are large powers that be in government who did not want this film to be popular because it is apparently uncovering ancient secrets or paved over parts of history that certain people don't want you to know about, and for that reason they say that the movie got around 30,000 one-star reviews on IMDb before it even got released, and this was a ploy, a method to try and prevent the film getting into the mainstream and becoming a big hit. Whatever the case is, something seems to be stopping it becoming a big hit. Something seems to be preventing people from going to see it, and it's a shame because it's a good film. It takes itself seriously. At certain points, it really feels like quite an adventure. It's all round just a good movie. It's not a great movie. It's not the greatest movie ever, but it is a good movie, and at best, it deserves to make a profit. It does not deserve to be a horrendous flop, which on a financial scale it currently is. I don't want to say too much more about it. It is not perfect, but it's good. I'm George Massey. It's been good to see you again. Check out my other videos. Peace.